Smart24, driving business.
Great. Good evening everyone. Good evening our viewers. Good evening those online on our Twitter Spaces and X Spaces on YouTube channel. Good evening. Welcome to Fat Talks. Yep, we do this every Thursday at 4 p.m. and it is brought to you by, it's a platform that is created by Fidelis. Fidelis is a leadership institute and we're glad to be here. What do we do at Fidelis Institute? We train and raise leaders to be ethical. We do ethical leadership training to ensure that we have leaders who are able to and available to lead in the current situations. Today at Fat Talks, ladies and gentlemen, online, and those that have tuned in, we have a special guest. But before I introduce our special guest, allow me to just talk a little bit about our Fat Talks. Well, Fat Talks again is a platform that has been created by Fidelis Institute. We host leaders, special leaders, as our special guests that I will introduce later, that are sharing their passions, that have been able to come out and transform communities, faithfully transform communities. We are running values that are running on faithfully, being faithful, available, and teachable. Those are the values that we run at Fat Talks. So today, ladies and gentlemen, online and those watching us, our guest speaker, one of the thought leaders that we picked on to inspire us and speak to us and have a discussion, a conversation, we might call it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd love to welcome with me Miss Alia. Miss Alia, please say hello to the...
Hello everyone, hello to all the viewers. Thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Evelyn Osime. I'll be your host today. And yeah, we are talking innovations. Our topic today is transforming communities using innovations. And I mean, we are in the digital era. What a better time for us to have this conversation. Welcome again, Miss Alia.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good to have you. Good
Thank
to
you
have
so
you.
much for having me.
Yes, very good. I was actually looking forward to having you today. You are, when I looked at your profile, I thought, there's so many people out there that are really transforming communities. And we need to keep picking on them so that we are able to inspire. So many of us that are doing so many little things, but you never know, transforming lives, yeah? So we are glad to have you today. Very glad to have you, and it's a privilege to host you, of course.
Thank you.
Very nice. Just briefly, tell us about yourself, because if I started, the biography was quite something.
Yes.
So just briefly greet us and tell us about yourself.
So my name is Alia Sekatawa. I own a business. I'm the managing director of Rockstone Management Company, and we do investment management and management services for businesses. And while we were doing management services, helping businesses improve, we found that a lot of businesses, especially those run and owned by women, always seem to face the same challenges with regards to how informal they were operating. The sizes were always small, and they were always tended to be in the same sectors. And they always seemed to have a pattern within which they were having problems. So we developed a digital platform called the Women Entrepreneurship Platform Africa. that's dedicated to providing business advisory services for women, free and accessible online. And I'm very passionate about helping young women, men as well, youth, and developing our countries, because we have the capacity, we have the talent, and sometimes all that someone needs is just, you know, a pat on the back or some help. So we're hoping that the digital platform that we've created is a tool that people can use to improve themselves and improve their businesses.
Nice. You sound so serious. For any non-techie there, I'm thinking, what? Who is she? But it's nice. I think I love your story. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just a snippet in what we are going to talk about. Before we get very serious, maybe just a little thing for the viewers or those that are listening in. Who are you while you're not being so serious?
Okay, who am I?
Just a little background. How do we, so that we can resonate, tell us about where are you coming from? Did you grow up in a village like some of us? I mean, we need to know that people didn't just make it there out of the sky. Maybe you started from somewhere, and someone out there needs to know, how did she get there?
Right. So I studied here in Uganda.
Okay.
I went to the French school. And after I went to the French school, I went to Rainbow International School. Just actually 2 weeks ago, I met the owner of the school, Mrs. Kotecha, really recently, and it was so sweet because she hasn't changed. And I was at the school actually 2 weeks ago. My little sister is playing football there, and it was nice to see like all of the teachers and everything. It's so funny how teachers never change. Like, it's like they're stuck in time, you know.
They say when you want to stay young, be a teacher.
Yes. So I went to Rainbow for high school. And then I studied abroad. So I did my bachelor's in Switzerland. I studied international economics and international relations. And then I did a postgrad certificate of professional achievement from Columbia University in New York. And then my master's in African development from the London School of Economics. But Uganda has always been home for me. I mean, it's home, but you know, some people, Uganda is home, but they're not drawn to it. They study abroad and then they live abroad and come back. I've always been drawn to Uganda. It's always been home. So even when I was studying abroad, every holiday, I would get on a plane and come back home and work. My parents always insisted on me working, so I would always come back home and work in different areas and, you know, different places. And in the end, I moved back and I began doing what I wanted to do here.
Have you always wanted to do what you're doing right now?
To be honest, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right from nursery?
Like I've always wanted to own a business. I remember when I was like 10, I asked my dad if he could open a salon for me during my holidays so I could do hair.
Wow. Okay.
So 10. I always wanted to do business, but my father, because he's a business person, my parents always encouraged me to get like proper formal education. They were like, always go to school. Even when I finished my bachelor's, I was like, I'm ready now. They were like, go and get a master's, you know. And then I think with time, when they saw that being fully employed was just not going to work, he started to encourage it more. But I always knew that I wanted to own a business, to be, you know, a business owner.
Oh, nice. At 10, I'm thinking about what was I thinking at 10. We won't get there. It's about you. No, but that's beautiful, yeah? But then, did you always know you wanted to get into the innovation spaces?
No, actually.
How did we
tech and innovation wasn't something that that I knew that I wanted to get into. It was actually not intentional at all. When we created the digital platform, the only reason we even used technology is because it needed to be accessible.
Okay.
So we were like, website. It was just evident. But I didn't go into it thinking like, oh, I want to now go into tech or innovation.
Okay.
No.
Okay, interesting.
I don't know. I don't even think I really understand it. Like,
Yeah.
but of course, with growth, you know, you grow, and what I always try and do is, even when I'm faced with like challenging things or things that I don't understand, I don't let that put me in a position where it's like I don't understand, so let me leave it. It's like Google is there, we will figure it out. So that's also how I've learned with tech, learning how to do it. Of course, trial and error. The platform, it's not the first version, and it won't be the last version. So it has taken time to get it to where it is, but we're growing. Yeah, and we're happy.
I like it. I like how we're all just being driven towards what we almost try to avoid, the tech world, right?
Yeah.
Because of course, the digital era. But then again, I'm thinking, how did you drive to exactly what you're doing right now? Because I realized from your profile, we have agribusiness, we have quite a number of business points there, or ladies that you're supporting. What are the different sectors that you actually, that excite you, that you want to support? Before we get to the tech.
I can't say that I have a particular sector within which I want to support. You will find that the majority, if you look just at research and statistics, a lot of women are heavily involved in the agriculture sector, and informally, unfortunately. But so agriculture tends to be, you know, a non-starter when you look at the dynamics of our country. Agriculture does play a big role. So a lot of these things in itself just come naturally. But I would love to support women in all areas, and I would really love to support women in male-dominated areas, because it's important that we try and create spaces for women in different environments and young people. Because in this country, we really have a perspective of young people that's not always accurate. And I think that we need to be, you see how we're very intentional about accommodating women? I think there also needs to be some accommodation and push and drive to include young people as well into a lot of these narratives. So, yeah,
I like it. I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, those have just joined us. It is the Fast Talks, where the faithfully available and teachable leaders come on this platform to inspire and speak to us, have a very brilliant conversation. For example, our guest speaker today is Alia. Again, lovely to have you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Now, before again we get to the techie, what else do you want to speak to us about that you'd think you'd love us to know before the techie? Personal. Let me see. Looking at you, I'm thinking, what was your cutest childhood memory?
Wow.
Wait, did you always know you'd be on TV at this point in time?
I used to do TV.
Yeah.
My parents were always very hard workers.
Okay.
My dad works very hard, my mother worked very hard. So I think naturally I also started working at a young age.
Okay.
My mom used to work at MTN, and she was in charge of marketing and things there. So I used to do voiceovers, and I used to do ads and things like that.
Okay.
And then when I was a kid, I also was on TV. But it's interesting with time, it's not something that I seek after now.
Yeah.
I've done a few interviews here and there, I've been on BBC, but it's not something that I just sit around and I'm like, I want to be on TV. No.
Yeah, no, that's
I actually, I like to live a very private life.
okay.
I think that in the digital age, it's very easy for us to just post things. What I had for lunch, what I wore today, outfit of the day, lunch of the day, this is where I'm going, this is where I'm coming from. But I've really learnt the value of privacy.
Yeah, beautiful. Do you know why I asked that? Earlier when we were preparing to come on, I realized how we take some moments for granted. In this moment, we'd like to inspire someone. Because a lot of times when we are going through our work day to day, someone is always watching, right?
Yeah.
And there are times when you're thinking, this is a goal that I'm not able to achieve. So when you wake up in the day as Miss Alia, do you know that, for example, as the year was starting out, we are in November now, Happy New Month, by the way.
Thank you. This is my birthday month.
Ah, there you go.
So I'll send my mobile money number and on the 17th.
Consider it done. Did you have it in your goals for the year that this is what actually I think I will be doing on the 2nd of November? Or down the road, among my goals for the year, I think my platform is out there and I think that's what I wanted to do for the year. And I can sleep off the year now knowing that, yeah, my year is good. Or are there some goals that you think, the year is ending and I'm slacking out?
I think if it's November and you feel like you've accomplished everything that you set out to do in the year, your dreams weren't big enough.
Ah, beautiful.
I do think that. This year has really been a hustle year for me.
Okay.
It was very important for me to start applying myself and putting myself in positions that I previously hadn't been doing. In December as well, typically with my team and the people closest around me, we really do evaluations of ourselves, and the people I work with and people around me often felt like this private life and this introversion of myself was not the version that I needed to have out there with regards to work, and actually encouraged me to do a lot more networking, a lot more speaking engagements, a lot more putting myself out there. Even with regards to the digital platform, we have a membership base, but it wasn't something that was intentional because we weren't doing it. They were just passive users. So my team called me out and they were really like, you need to do more.
Okay.
And this year has really been about that. So I've tried to do at least one engagement every month. You know, so whether it's things like this, whether it's speaking at conferences, whether it's just even posting on Instagram, that I find very hard. I've really tried to put myself out there in a professional field. And then with regards to personal areas as well, I've tried to have discussions with myself about the version that I want to be in a few years to come, and work backwards from there. Yeah, everyone always thinks that getting to where you want to be, you move forward, but I think you move backwards from the goal.
I like first take a little step.
Yeah, like you define it, you box it out, and you're like, when it comes to my faith, I want to be here. When it comes to the relationships I have in my life, if it's, you know, my husband or my partner, if it's my siblings, if it's my parents, if it's, you know, my community, the people I work with, what kind of relationships or what kind of person do I want to be there? And then you create that box or that goal in your mind, and then you take the steps necessary from there. Yeah, but people tend to think that like you move forward, but I think you actually work backwards from where you want to be.
That's my takeaway. I'm not sure about you. Who is watching or listening in? You take a little step back and work it out forward. I like. You mentioned you lead a team. Yeah?
Yes.
How many are they? Do you think you're the fine boss or you're the tough boss? According to what you think. No, but what one or two values have you led the team by that you're sure this is who I am, my team knows it, and this is how I lead my team? Just share with us.
It's been interesting because being, I would say, quite young, relatively, and also owning a business from a young age, and it's been hard to learn how to be a leader. I think that, you know, everyone, especially young people, we were talking about this earlier, you and I, they go into situations and they're like, oh, I'm the CEO, or I'm the this owner of the company. We have these titles, but it doesn't always make you a leader in your organization. It doesn't always.
It's not the title, right?
No, it's not the title. And I think that a lot of times our personalities and where we are in life affect the dynamics that we take into work. So it was hard for me to become a leader or to become the MD that I would say that I wanted to be. It took a lot of time. Building the team that I have today was very, very difficult. I had terrible experiences with staff. I had really bad work experiences with people that you work with, but I would never take even one of those lessons or examples back, because they've shaped, like, you know, my leadership skills and everything. And the team I have now, man, I love those guys. Like, I love you guys. They are my team. They're my team. Like, they'd never let me down. Mistakes are made, but they're not life-changing mistakes where I feel like I don't want to do this anymore with you. And I genuinely feel like my business is not my business anymore. I feel like I'm part of, like, we're building something and we're all building it.
All in it.
And that, like, buy-in, I would say, from my team is so important because it validates everything else that I go through as a leader. But with that being said, I don't know what kind of leader they would say that I am.
We shall leave it for them.
But I think that if they do, if I think about some of the things that I've tried to incorporate in my leadership, I would definitely say I hope my team knows that work is just a job. Like, it's not the end all and be all of everything. That they need to learn to live as well. And sometimes it's hard for them. We have some workaholics on the team that don't want to go home. They know themselves. But
you won't mention names.
I won't. They know themselves. Where it's like, you know, you'll be in the office and I'm like, guys, can you go home?
The work-life balance.
Go home. But I think now they're starting to get into it. They go out and not invite me.
Noted.
They have parties without me. But it's okay.
As long as they get to lose.
They have their environment, and I'm glad that even within the team themselves, they've created lasting relationships, because now to me they're more than just team members. Genuinely they are.
Wow.
I'm
sure they are watching, listening in, and I'm sure they're going like, that's a way to end the year. No, beautiful. How long have you done this?
So with regards to investment management, it's been about 3 years now. Before that, I was doing some consultancy work, of course, and it only was until my dad was complaining that he's like, today you're doing this, tomorrow you're consulting this one, then you're doing this, and he's like, organize yourself and formalize. So I actually put it together and created a business and things like that.
Beautiful. You keep mentioning your dad.
Sorry.
No, it's a good thing, and I'm thinking there must be a big portion of you that is practically just right there, that has inspired you, that has pushed you, that has, made you the person you are. Just share a little snippet on who that person is.
I think parents are very instrumental in children's lives. I think more than they do realize. I think that sometimes a lot of parents are not intentional with their children. But when it comes to things like business, when it comes to work ethics and things like that, my parents are really what drove me. My family is what drives me. My little sister, my brother, like, that's my whole world.
Very great support team.
So it's just like, they're why I do what I do. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't do it for anyone else, myself and my family. So I think as parents as well, it's important to be supportive of your children, their ambitions as well. Because a lot of times when we start out in life, we're doing things to please that, that immediate
need as a parent,
Yeah.
or an immediate gap.
Yeah.
So speaking to a parent.
Exactly.
And many online.
And when we start out in our lives, like our parents are our main source of validation. They're who we look up to for what's right and wrong. It's who we fall back on. They're the consistency in our lives and our relationships. So they play a tremendous role in shaping us.
The more you're speaking, the more I'm looking at myself and thinking, On the scale of 1 to 10, where am I as a parent in trying to support my child? A discussion for another day, perhaps, yeah. No, but beautiful conversation. If you have just joined us, you're at the Fat Talks. We do this every Thursday, 4 p.m. Join us at Twitter Spaces and on Smart TV. Thank you very much. Again, it's a privilege to have you here. Now, as you're speaking, and I'm thinking, like, what did you mean when you said you did not see yourself getting into the innovations? So what drove you? I know it's a whole digital era, but is that drives you? Is it your team, or is it as a leader, it's where you realize, we need to go in that direction? Because a lot of leaders, at Fat Talks, again, we try to raise and host leaders that inspire and also are available to learn and teach. In that way, we know that there must be something. Either it was something that taught you or that awakened you to the possibility of, hey, this is a digital era, guys, let's move. Or was it your team? Was it something that you ran along and said, guys, I think let's move that direction? Or maybe you did some 1 or 2 courses that inspired you?
I wish I could put it down to 1 or 2 things. I can't say that it was one thing. For sure, when we were developing the digital platform, I didn't have the current team that I had now, but they're really have been the most influential in that they're the ones who actually brought it to life. Before that, it was just a concept, an idea that I kept having in the back of my mind and saying, oh, this would be interesting, or maybe we could do it like this. And I always had one version of it. And actually, like my partner, he would always look at the platform, and I always would be like, look what I did. And I think it's because he studied IT. I don't know what it is, but he was always like, this is not okay. It needs to be better than this. It needs to be interactive. It needs to be. So because of that, we ended up, refining and refining and refining how it works. And that's when it really became, a digital platform, and it moved from a concept and an idea that we talked about to being something that people actually use.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're being inspired. Today we are hosting Miss Alia. I can call you Miss Alia. Yeah. We are talking about the Women Entrepreneurship Platform Africa. That's the platform, the digital platform that was created or is being manned by our lady here and her team. And would like her to speak more into it. Before the platform, of course, again, we have the the vision. What was the vision behind you designing that? I know you kind of talked about it to some level, but there are times when you realize if I'm putting something online, it means I need so many people to access it, right? So what's the vision? How ready are you to have all of us just get in there? How does someone access it? How does someone become part of it? And how do you support them?
Yeah. Thank you for that. So firstly, it's only a website, and I think that sometimes when we talk about it, we use a lot of luzungu, and it can be quite intimidating, but it's only a website. So you just log on to Web Africa, so WEPAfrica.com, and then it comes up. It has business services or business advisory services in 3 different areas.
Okay.
So the first area is for businesses that are existing or just starting out. We have a business plan generator, and what it does is that it is a form that helps you conceptualize in your head and just plan out how your business would run or is running. And this mental process of thinking out, okay, what are my suppliers? How much do I have to pay them? How much are my expenses? How much are taxes? It helps you think through actually running a business, and hopefully it puts you in a position where you know whether or not your business will be profitable, if it's something that you can actually do. And then we have the operations side of it. So we have digital downloadable tools and across different areas where you just download and you're able to use and customize these tools in different areas. So in the finance area, we have like invoice templates. We have, revenue and expenditure templates. We have budget templates, because you'll go to a lot of these accelerators and incubators. You'll go to the bank, maybe you want funding from the bank, and then the bank will tell you where are your finances. And as a small business, you'll come back and then you'll think, what are my finances even supposed to look like? Right? They'll tell you, do you budget? You'll go to a financial literacy class. Like today, there's a lot of talk about financial literacy. All the time, financial literacy. And then you're like, okay, I know I have to save. Okay, I know I have to budget, but how? That how is really missing. So the templates are there. You just download them. They're free of charge. Everything on the platform is free. And you use them.
I noticed something though, before we came. I had a look at the platform. Brilliant platform,
Thank you so much.
I noted one, maybe because it resonated with where I am. You actually help people try to define their business. If you're just trying to think through, how do you do that? Is it the platform, or is that the place where you're advertising the service? On how to help someone put together their business idea and hopefully run them through exactly how you've just been describing it. How is that process run?
So
how can you help me?
So that's the business.
I hope you're not paying for that service.
No, so that's the business plan generator. So as soon as you log on to the website, you'll see it's the first option that comes under business ideation. So you just click it, and it's literally, it shouldn't sound intimidating. It's just a form. And the form has different questions, and if you don't know how to answer those questions, we have an AI generated tool that just gives you sample answers of how you can answer the question. And it just asks you questions in different areas. You respond, and while you're responding, you're mentally thinking about how your business will run. And at the end, you download your document, and then you yourself can read it and think, is this actually a viable and profitable business? But we've had a lot of people go through, and as soon as they reach certain sections, they're like, this one isn't work. Because by the time I buy the things from China at this price, I pay URA, I pay shipping, I have to sell them at a margin. I'll be making
all those levels you are supporting me, or this is me in my room trying to figure it out?
So all of those are the questions that we ask you and you answer. And when you're answering them, you're like, oh, but I hadn't thought about shipping. I hadn't thought about URA. I hadn't thought about, taxes. So when you're going through this and you're thinking through this, that's when you realize, like, actually this is more expensive than or maybe I'll have to approach it a different way. And because of that, less businesses die.
And I like that as well, because you actually brought out a statistic in your data that a lot of ladies' businesses, we tend to really not make it through from the 1st or 5th birthday. And this platform is supposed to help us raise the percentages. So that when we start something, we're actually able to carry through. I was like, I want to sign up for this thing. No, really, because a lot of us, I think, we struggle on our own, and by the time you thinking this is it, and it's not.
Yeah.
But with some support like that, surely I think I should be able to make it beyond the first or second birthday
Yes.
of my company. That's Kalango, but it's okay for me. No, but beautiful. I liked the whole idea, and I liked that people as young, we say it is relative, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's call you young, because on this table there's one of us is younger than the other. When you have people younger than us, or anyway, the generation that we are on, and they're carrying visions bigger than themselves, that's very life-changing. So for me, it was an honor. I'm like, wow, this is a very great platform. And I ended up having to go through it and again, but more or less about the tool, but more about the idea, the passion to support ladies, the passion to ensure that we are all going ahead together.
Yeah.
Those are always powerful platforms and visions. So kudos.
Thank you.
To you and your team somewhere.
Thank you.
that
Yes,
said you love.
me and my team.
Beautiful. Anyway, beautiful. Now, as we are talking, I'm reminded of, I know you got into the innovation space because a lot of people are actually doing so many different things to transform or help people with businesses. In a way, of course, transforming communities. What is that one or two ideas that you think you run into the community that have caught your eye, like, wow, someone is doing this and I think it's making an impact in the community space, wherever you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think there are a lot of examples of people helping within the communities, and a lot of individuals that help as well. It's very interesting to see that when you're able to help one person or two people, that person as well can go and help someone else. I couldn't say that I have specific examples of people helping communities, but I just know that there's so many.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many, especially those that are targeting women. Like you have Her Working Women. We recently did something with them. They have a marketplace that's coming up, I think, on the 18th of November. And Natalie Bitature has done a wonderful job in creating a community for women. She's so inspiring. You have a lot of different banks and financial institutions that are trying to help women as well. You have, you know, there are conferences specifically even targeted towards helping women break barriers to trade. We recently had the Baroness Sandy Verma from the UK who came to speak about, you know, trading in Africa, so that when we look at our businesses, especially our women-run businesses, that it's not our small businesses, but we're able to look at them as big industrial, international, you know, cross-border transactional businesses. And they ran a wonderful, wonderful conference, Breaking Barriers to Trade conference, that was at the Sheraton on the I think it was the 18th of October, and they're going to do it again next year. So it's really something to look out for. But even if you go into your small communities, you will find change makers there. You'll find people that are dedicated to transforming their communities. Even in families, you'll find aunties that are paying school fees for kids. You'll find, you know, people that are really helping out their communities. I think it's everywhere.
It's everywhere,
and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's beautiful for people to have beyond self, some really powerful stuff. Oh, we also have Fidelis. You know Fidelis Institute?
Yes, really.
Fidelis, yes. Yeah, it's a training institute, ladies and gentlemen. We train leaders. You know that? We train leaders to be very available and to serve their communities, faithfully available to serve their communities, such as that, transforming lives through training and trainings of leaders. That's what we do. And Fat Talks is part of the platforms that we actually host so that we are able to showcase or have conversations with brilliant thought leaders out of such trainings. Now, boom, 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 boom. Anyway, one thing for sure is when I think about the digital era, and then I think about this, I read something from your platform, again, that speaks about agribusinesses. I realized quite some new thing about agribusinesses and then technology. I don't know if you have realized the same thing. Do you have something you just want to speak to in that area? Agribusiness, technos, innovations?
Yeah, there are quite a few innovations happening in the agriculture space, quite a few. People are changing a lot of the ways that they interact with agriculture. I think that a lot of youth are not interested in farming and agriculture in general. I prefer to focus more. I think there is greater value in value addition, production, processing, and things like that when it comes to agriculture. But there is still a lot of space for agriculture and farming. But interestingly enough, youth don't tend to be very interested in that area. But farming is stressful.
It is.
It's very stressful. I respect farmers and people in that space because it's very difficult. But there are a lot of innovations in that space. You know, you have different technologies. Now people are using drones to even provide solutions like watering plants and crops and irrigation. You have vertical farming that's happening right now. That's so interesting, where they're farming going up and not you know, horizontally, which is so interesting. Exactly. So there's so many innovations in that space, and I feel like Uganda, where 80% of our land is arable, should we not be leading in that space?
Right? Should we not be?
Especially since I feel like we're some of the smartest people in the world.
You're smart. We are smart. Why I brought out that example, it is more to speak into. When we got into agriculture and then technology, it's a whole different zone in a way. It's as if we had to break a few normals or barriers, because you know, you used to just, either it's a robot or it's something that is happening that is expected, But now, back to the space of the woman or a woman leader. Do you think there are some barriers you as a person you had to break to get to, you know, there are some things, for example, imposter syndrome, some cousins of mine called imposter syndrome. There are quite a number of things that as ladies we sometimes have to cross over. There are some that would have to say beyond imposter syndrome, maybe the ability to stand up for ourselves, maybe because of culture, maybe because of upbringing. Speak into that space of people, because while we are here, we are trying to encourage a few women.
Yeah, that's such an important topic, and it's something that I have had to face, of course. I think that anyone who has gotten anywhere in their lives from A to B has had some kind of challenge. I think it's exacerbated when you're a woman and you're a young woman, especially in Uganda. I feel like young women are sometimes taken advantage of because of their naivete, and also because we have a culture of resignation when it comes to issues like that. But of course, it is something that I have faced. I've learned, as you know, a woman, there are certain situations that before I would think are normal, but now I know that are not normal. And it actually, I think it took me being in a very strong relationship, I would say personal relationship, with my partner, where he actually was the one who pushed me to say, I understand that the majority of your clients are men, and that you're young and you're trying to prove yourself, but it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no, and you don't have to justify it. If you feel that you're not comfortable, if you feel like you're in a space where it just doesn't feel right, don't. And you don't have to explain it to that person, or you don't have to feel like, women, we tend to have this thing where we need to prove ourselves.
Always
as if people pleasing, like you always have to go the extra mile, you always have to. And he really is the one who really said to me, no is to learn that no is a full sentence. It's a full sentence.
Beautiful.
And it's very important for girls to know. You have situations even with the colleagues and ladies that we work with, where we will have some of our clients say, let me meet you at 6.
Yeah.
Let me meet you at 7:30. What office is open at that time?
Yeah.
You know?
Or maybe.
Where they're like, oh, I can't come to the office to sign these documents. Okay, sir, can we bring them to you? Yes. And then they send you their house address. Sometimes these things
we are being proactive.
Yeah, and then someone is thinking, how am I need these documents signed. You're not actually mentally thinking about the fact that a man has invited you to his home.
Okay.
What reflection is that on you and how he sees your professionalism? And I'm not saying that every guy who tells you bring me my papers to sign at home is, you know, in that area. Of course, some genuinely actually don't even think like that, but sometimes they're also not the majority. So I think it's important that especially when we're young women, to always be alert, to always be in situations where if things don't feel right and we're not comfortable, it's not about us being emotional. It's not about us having to people please or go the extra mile because we are women. Men have lived their entire lives being mediocre, and there's still majority of them running the world. So I think a mediocre woman is also fine. For you to do your absolute best is what matters. You don't need to be doing cartwheels to please people, especially when it's in environments and situations where you're not comfortable. And I would love it if every young girl knew that. Yeah. And I hope that the men in, you know, these girls and women's lives also make them feel as confident and comfortable, because it comes from them as well. For your partner to say, sometimes, you know, we have like difficult partners that tell you, why are you picking up your phone after 6? Why are you da, da, da? But also for them to speak into these things, like, you know, your father or your brother or your husband will tell you things like, why is that man calling you at 6? And then you'll just take it, or why is that man calling you at 9? And for you, you'll just take it as, that man, he's very difficult, he doesn't let me. But sometimes it is speaking to things greater than just, you know, just work and just professionalism. And if you have supportive male figures in your life, and if you're a man and you're watching, it's important to be a supportive male figure in a woman's life, because that's how she's easily able to establish boundaries. And don't just talk it, live it. If you don't want your daughter or your wife or your niece to be treated a certain way by a man, it starts with you. You need to treat the women around you with respect. Because you're not gonna tell me, respect yourself, cover yourself, you know, work hard, be a respectable woman, and then at the same time, you're creating environments where people with those same values and ethics have created space within their lives, within your life, but you're expecting A from one side and expecting B from another. It doesn't work. So if you want your wife and your daughter and your nieces and the women around you that are important to you to be treated with respect, to have boundaries when it comes to certain things, you need to ensure that you're also exercising them within your life. It's very important.
I needed that to come out. You know why? I'm imagining the value system that you run at your, or with your team actually, because at the end of the day, for a team to be able to channel out innovations, there's definitely a team leader with values. There's a value system that you're running by. And now I can see with your passion, and strong passion, I will insist, I can imagine the team behind the different innovations. Now, when we go back to the women, the web, was it your first innovation? Is there something else we are looking forward to? Or is there something that you haven't told us before we go to the webper?
If you want me to spill my secret?
Well, pay for Kalango?
Well, we are looking because we do investment management. We have invested in a few other tech businesses. We're trying to get them past proof of concept, move on. Trust me, one of my weaknesses is that I'm a perfectionist. Okay. And you know, there's some people who say, I'm a perfectionist.
It's exciting.
But I'm someone who will read a sentence in a document and check that someone has put 2 spaces between
the dots.
So by the time we've put it out there and the platform is launching, it's really something that I'm super comfortable with. So there are more things coming, hopefully, inshallah, by God's will. And we hope to talk about those things when they do come. But right now we are very, very focused on the entrepreneurship platform, and we hope that a lot of you will use it because it's free.
It's free. That's what I figured. It's so free. And then there's that link that mentions be a member. If I'm a member, what are the benefits? Why do I have to be a member?
So membership.
That's also free, right?
Yes.
There's a membership fee.
No, at the moment there's no membership fee. It's important for me for the platform to remain free because when I started my business or when I started working, I actually worked out of a restaurant. My family kept saying, we can pay for you to get an office and you get a place to work. But it was important to me that I built something sustainable. So I had 3-4 like Cheerios, as they call them. But now we call them clients.
Okay, noted.
But I had like 3 or 4 clients, and I do the school run, so I pick and drop my sister at school every day. And she goes to school in town, and it was just too expensive to like drive from my home all the way to town, drive back home, work, and then come and pick her up in a few hours. So I would work, at a restaurant and really manage my expenses. And sometimes I felt very overwhelmed with like doing business because you can do the technical side of business. It's 2 areas. You have the technical side of business in that the services that you provide, and then there's a completely different side to business, which is running a business, which is now taxes.
The real
I really hate that word. Taxes. You are a. They know how much you're supposed to pay in taxes, but they don't want to tell you. And then if you pay the wrong amount, you're in trouble. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, that's a global issue. There's administrative issues. URSB, you have to do annual returns. It's just so much to running a business outside of the actual services or products that you provide as a business. And I had to go through a lot of learning how to do that, learning how to make invoices, how to use a contract, how to record my expenses, that it's just that now that I've gone through that hustle and we have climbed that hill, we're still climbing it. It's like, why wouldn't I create space for other women to be able, or other people to be able to use things that I have found useful? And when I think about all of the templates that are on the platform are templates that I have used in my business and in my life as a business.
Experience them.
Exactly.
And
But I now think back to the time where I had to pay someone 80K for an invoice. You get what I mean? 50K for, and people don't have that money. Small businesses, they don't have money to be spending on that, even when they need it. Even when they need it, they don't have the money. So I look back at that version of myself, didn't have a lot of money, but had a business and had a dream. So it's important that we are facilitating women and small businesses in the same way.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I like it. You know why?
Because it's free.
It's free. Because it's free. Why? Because, again, it goes back to the startups. There are not many things you'd want to cost or spend on when you're just starting up. And then when you find a support crowd like that, definitely, I'll sign up like all the different businesses that I would own in a
Please
way,
do.
right?
Yeah.
But also importantly, thinking about a startup, but your platform. What if we are so many millions that have decided to bombard your site? Do you have a support team?
Yes, there is a support team.
24/7?
It's not 24/7 because I did tell you that my employees have lives. There's life outside work. I think it's a Gen Z millennial thing.
Okay.
Like we can't come and kill ourselves.
But you saw us kill ourselves, or
like
what?
you,
saying
I
us,
don't know.
Yeah. That generation
somehow
before the Gen Z.
Yeah.
You saw us kill ourselves.
I feel like you guys really want us to suck.
But we are alive.
Yeah, you're alive, but also the economy now is not. It's not working. So clearly working hard all the time, full time, is not optimal because now young people can't own homes.
You can't say that. I've seen young people own homes. I don't know.
I think exceptions.
Anyway, I get it.
Yeah.
I
mean, like, owning a house is so expensive and your
You could have two different teams. You could have a team working in the night, another one during the day. I mean,
yes.
Support us. It's a
No,
global
of course.
village. But if you're from wherever
Of
we
course,
sign
when
up
the demand comes,
okay.
we will, speaking seriously
Trying to
now.
speak into the demand. Sign up, guys. Sign up.
Sign up
What's
so
the
that we
link
can
again?
please become members of
them
Web Africa.
Web Africa.
So that we can get a night team.
Yeah.
So that if can have support at night. But we do have support, but it's right now.
It is what is available.
Yeah, but
the
it's
demand.
there. They're supportive. If you do send messages at 2 a.m., we'll get back to you at our appropriate working time.
And the message is there. We shall get back to you at an appropriate time.
Working time, yes. We are not going to reply your messages at 2 a.m.
Yeah. What's the link again?
Web Africa, wepafrica.com.
Yeah. Have you got that? wepafrica.com. We are supporting women, entrepreneurs.
And even men. The platform is dedicated to women because women are, I would say, don't have the same luxuries as men with regards to movement, time. Also, we're trying to increase the number of women in women businesses that are active and reduce startup mortality rates for women in business. But the platform is digital, it's online. No one's going to scan and make sure that you're a woman. So if you are a man, and we do have men on the platform, if you are a man and you own a business and are struggling in these areas, please do use it. And we also intend to provide trainings for youth because it's important to me that at least from the ages of 15, if you feel like traditional university is not for you, you're able to plug into these areas and create something that aligns with your passions. So if you can use a website and you want to start a business or you have a business that you want to run, log on. We are not saying that it's only for women, but women, we've created this for you.
Very clear. You have done an amazing thing because at Fidelis, ladies and gentlemen, another institute that actually trains leaders, we also do women, but we have also created, it's a platform created by women, but we also do support women and men. We train leaders, right?
Yeah.
Leaders to be faithfully available and also to be teachable, because I mean it's a dynamic world, right?
Yes.
So I like that you mentioned that it's a platform created by women, supporting women, but gentlemen also.
Yeah.
Welcome. Yeah.
I think it's important. You know, I really like to advocate for women empowerment and you know, the elevation and equity within our communities for women. But I don't think that it needs to come at the expense of men.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes they are left out of the narrative.
Exactly.
And so are youth.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's important. You know, 70% of our demographic is under the age of 30. So if we're not looking at young women and men to help create spaces for them, to teach them who is going to fix these problems that the baby boomers created, where we can't afford homes.
We're noting that as well. As we worked hard.
I'm just joking. You guys never went on holiday. Now when people go on holiday, it's such a big thing.
Like, what? Yo, I'm on holiday. Actually,
when was the last time you went on leave? Eve, please tell me, like, genuinely.
Currently. This is me on leave.
You're on leave, but you're here talking to me.
This is me on leave.
This is not ideal.
No, seriously.
This is not soft life.
I was trying to check our Twitter spaces, see if there's somebody speaking to us. But please do let us know your comments. And of course, any questions, would love to respond to them. Thank you for joining us, everyone that has logged in and those that have taken the time to watch our Smart TV. Thank you to Smart TV as well. And thanks to our guests still here with us. Still here with us, you're not going anywhere.
I'm ready to stay. I'm committed.
You're committed.
Yes.
You're not yet on leave.
If I was on leave, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Lucky you. This is me being on leave. Anyway, one or two more things.
Tell me. Ask me.
I ask you. I'm trying to see if I get personal or I don't shock you.
Personal?
Yeah. No. Anyway, still about communities and innovations. Now this is me not being personal. Weapon. You know, there are different, it's like what you mentioned about, there are different talks about financial, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. Do you have scheduled, should I say, classes, or is it when I sign up as a member, then you sign me up in some structured class, or I sign up, and then, hey, let's get back to you.
Yeah.
What level are you?
So next year, we will be reaching out with an annual calendar, and we will have both themed and non-themed trainings and workshops that will happen on different areas of the platform. And we're looking to provide physical trainings that leverage the digital tools that we have on the platform, because it's very important to provide the both. So we'll be plugging into existing workshops and existing platforms that target women and people in businesses as well, people in business, not just women. But we'll be plugging into existing ones. We'll be having individual workshops. So that's why it's very important that you sign up for to sign up to become a member. Because when we do have those workshops and we do have those trainings, you're informed and you're the first to know. Yeah.
Why I asked that, of course, again, before we came, I signed up on your first or hundredth client. And I'm thinking, I need to sign up for this thing. Or was at the end of my being a member? How do I get feedback?
Yeah.
How do I know what other programs are existing?
Yes.
Or when, after Fidelis training, how do I get to WEPA trainings and stuff like that? So you provide a schedule that usually would run maybe through the year?
It runs all throughout, it will run all throughout the year.
With that, is that where you're going to get us with a cost? Or
no.
It's still free?
Yeah, because even if you attend
Ladies and gentlemen, it's still free. You're free as a member?
Yes, you have accessibility as a member, but we're also hoping to leverage digital tools and social media to provide these trainings for people where they are. Because people don't have time to come and sit the whole day from 9 to 5 and listen to you talk about how to run your business, because they have their businesses to run. They have deliveries to make. They have clients to call. So we want to be very intentional and thoughtful about how we teach. It's very important.
I like that, because I'm still speaking for the other person who's still figuring their business out. So as much as I may have the business to run, I'm running sales here and there, deliveries, there's still that person who's like me, is trying to figure out what's the business idea and how do I grow through it. And that's a very important person to tap into. And I'm glad, again, ladies and gentlemen, it's still free. So you sign up, be a member for free, and then wait for your response for free. And be trained for free. And then, of course, I'm imagining there will be lots of stuff in there.
And you can also sign up to our social media pages, where you will be able to see all of it. It's always Web Africa, where you'll be able to see any upcoming events that we're having, you know, engagements, collaborations that we're doing.
I'm already feeling we'll do a collaboration with Fidelis.
Yes.
I keep saying Fidelis.
It's in the work.
Yeah, but that will be a very nice collaboration, I think. Let's lift women. Let's lift people who are struggling. You know, people are very busy these days. It's hard to have support groups. I know in movies you have support groups for either alcoholism and stuff like that. But support groups to help people raise their businesses. And that's a powerful thing to transform lives. Right?
Very important.
Beautiful, 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 ladies and gentlemen. What's been your takeaway? I really hope you have enjoyed and still enjoying our conversation. Very nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
At Fat Talks again, we are actually having our third cohort next year in February. Feel free to check out our site on LinkedIn or our website and log in and sign up. Let us build leaders that are able to shine, like my colleague here, that are able to be available to raise communities to another level. You know, we need leaders, fresh new breed, right?
Yeah.
Leaders that are very ethical, that are very available to serve and transform these communities. But now in your day-to-day, we are talking about innovations. Hence, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us, we've been speaking about WEPA. WEPA is a women entrepreneur platform that has been designed by yours truly, Miss Aliyah, and her team to support women, and she says men as well, who are starting up businesses. Yeah. Right from the ranges of how you start it up, how you run it, how you run the finances. What a powerful support community. I like it already. 2024, here we come.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But don't wait until then, start today.
I'm just trying to wind down there. Allow us to live. You said we need to live. So allow us to have a life right now.
Yeah.
And start the year in gear. No, but of course, sign up now so that you plan and know how your year is going to run, right? You're paying me for that, Kalango. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Anyway, we want to run down. As we cool it down, as we close it down, encourage your sister there. Now not me, because me, I've been encouraged. Trying to start up, trying to break through barriers of fear, culture. Where am I coming from? Every time I wake up in the mirror and I'm thinking, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
But hey, lady here, before she even makes it to the what floor is you, we won't ask. She's making it. We call it arriving, but it's okay. Encourage somebody, a lady there. Okay, and a gentleman, of course, who would love to sprout out, get out there and run their business as well. And get out of the statistics of, hey, beyond 2 years, you want to make it, you know? Yeah. Talk to us. I'm taking notes, so talk to us.
I would always say it's never too early and never too late to chase your dreams and go after what you want to do. It's just a matter of starting, and that's the hardest step, to start and to keep going. Sometimes we look at people who own these exceptional businesses and who have done so much with, you know, so little time. You're like, wow, you're so young to be doing that, or wow, you've accomplished so much. But the only difference between them and yourself is the fact that they just do it. And a lot of us just go on and on around in our heads, making excuses and not putting in the work. So let's not talk about being successful and talk about how we have dreams, but let's just actually do it. Even if it's terrible, even if it doesn't come out the way that you want it to, eventually it will. I do believe that. But it can't happen until you just start and put in the work.
I agree. Look at that. Thank you. Those on our Twitter spaces, thank you for joining us. And those that are watching us, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and listen and have our conversation at Fat Talks. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm still enjoying it. One more thing to your team.
Yes.
What would you want to say to them? Make this like an appraisal moment. Maybe it would inspire some other leader out there. How do you inspire your team? How do you appraise your team? How do you make them still feel a part of the vision?
Do they feel a part of the vision?
That's how it looks like for you.
We're speaking on their behalf now.
You know, there's that.
But you've met some of my team.
Oh yeah, I met some of them.
You've met some of my team.
They actually looked in sync, like, this is our guy. We are with her.
I know, right?
Do or die. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing for a team leader, right?
Team.
Yeah, because you've given us a story. You had that trail where you had tested all the frogs here and there, stuff here and there not working out. But now you're feeling like, I could hang in here for a bit. There must be something that you did. Inspire us in terms of leadership, because those are what we actually use when we are trying to train, but also transform lives. You know, innovation is not so techy, it's also through how we use our speech, our leadership skills, and all. So how
Smart24, driving business.
Within the space that you work that complement you, and not, sometimes complementing doesn't mean that are like you, but sometimes it means people that are not. Sometimes when we go to run businesses and own businesses, we tend to want to hire to replicate ourselves. And I haven't found that that's always the best thing to do. I think there are certain things about work and culture that you want to replicate, but it's more important to create individuals within themselves that can apply themselves and help to grow a business, but also with yourself, right? Because culture, it begins at home. Don't expect your staff to come in at 8 if you're not coming in at 8. Don't expect them to work late when you're not working late. Be open with your team. You know, tell them where we're going, what we're doing, why we're doing it. I would say, and also make them feel like, I try and make my team feel like we're all in this together.
That's why they have that.
Yeah, like we're all in this together. Like, if it was, I don't know, Vanessa or, you know, someone else, or Molly or someone else from the team who is doing this interview, show up for your team. Give them opportunities. You know, it's not always you who has to be on camera. It's not always you who has to give the presentation. It's not always you who has to. I think good leadership starts from the back. Empower your team, pull your team forward. Create a space where they can come and talk to you. Come and tell you, I don't think we should do it this way, or what do you think of this? Ask them for their opinions. Something that I really used to do before is, because I don't like confrontation, I just used to leave things on the side, and then I'd be like, and then not come and address things. But with the team I have, with the team I had before, when you would address things, things wouldn't be addressed. So in the end, you're just like, let me just, you know what I mean? But with the team I currently have, I feel like I'm going to complain about something, and then they're going to understand the problem, and then they're going to actionably move forward and find solutions and ensure that it's not happening again.
So you're more confrontational.
Yes. So personally as well, you have to have that development as a leader to know, I'm not going to be a leader to be liked. Correct. I'm here to get results. I'm here to make money.
You're speaking to your team.
You see what I mean? Like, so even if it's okay. It's okay that they don't like you. It's okay that but my team like me. They do.
We'll do an evaluation after this.
Yeah, we should do an evaluation. But the way that I know that they like me, oh my God, when it's my birthday, you know, they always remember the small things they tell you. They send me messages. They're like, you know, we're here for you. What can we help you with today? And I don't know if they're just wonderful people, because they're such wonderful people, or they're just a great
like
team.
You don't deserve them.
I don't know. No, I do deserve them. But I feel that it's rare when the people that you work with translate professionally, but also personally, you know? And I try and make them feel like if we have a problem as a company, we all have a problem. One of the people we work with, she's doing CPA, so you know, she comes and tells us, she's like, I need to study from this time to this time, so we all sit down, we work around that. If someone is like, you know, but support has to come from everywhere. You're not going to sit in your office with your AC and then say that you run a company. No, it's about collaboration and helping. If there are things that are due and I feel like we're overstretched in the company, I go and I do the work so that they can also feel like, you know, that I'm contributing as much as they are. And hopefully it translates when we do the evaluation. But I have really learned to most importantly be comfortable with who you are as a person, because everyone else in your business is replaceable except you when you're building it. So if you are building based on an inauthentic version of yourself, it's not going to be successful. Do you get what I mean?
I get it, but that's like a development thing, something you develop, I guess, along the way, realize, this is me being fake. I need to be real, right? Yeah. Yeah? I like this lady. You like the lady, I know, but the time. The time, hasn't it been great and wonderful?
It's been so wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Pouring into us. You make leadership so sweet. Like, I want to be a leader, you know, manage a team. Be sweet to me. Remember my birthday. Let's run business. Let's transform communities through products and innovations. I mean, that has to come with a powerful leader to make that happen, right? It's been beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to get to a close. We haven't seen anyone has a question. Some questions running here on our Twitter spaces. And to mention but a few, just a second, in a way, some people may have to say hello, or maybe some want to join your team because of a birthday thing or something. Well, while that is coming on, the last parting shots to us in terms of innovations, like ladies. I noticed there are quite a number of innovations, ladies awards, young ladies trying to do several innovations, especially in the women's spaces, and there are great awards going on in there. Encourage that person who didn't get the award the last time when there were awards running around to keep going.
I think when it comes to awards don't pay the bills.
They make me feel good.
Yeah, but I think your validation, I think the validation in what you do and your business should come from more than just an award or someone giving you a pat on the back. I think that's so important. When we're driving our Benz from our successful business, it's not going to matter how many awards we have on the wall. But the awards are nice. Apply. We can't have 50,000 winners. But I think that the focus should be more on productivity. It should be more on being successful. To yourself. Define what success is to yourself, and if it's authentic, it won't be other people's praises. It will be internal. And if you are self-validated and you feel that you are doing a good job, I feel, for me, I feel that that's more than the outside validation. I don't think it should drive you.
Yeah, totally get you. Part of the ladies out there that are driving innovations, that are actually after transforming communities through their brains, using their energies and knowledge to make sure they are supporting communities out there through education, through health, through a number of sectors, right? Power to you ladies, and we encourage you to keep going. You're doing a great job. and we'll host you one of these days to inspire other people as well. Thank you again. It's been Fat Talks, faithfully available. We are teachable leaders that you are raising at Fidelis Institute. So join us and sign up. We have a third cohort coming up next year, 2nd of February. You'd want to be a part of that leadership cohort. You will develop, you will grow, and trust me, it will be mind-blowing. You will change and actually adapt a few values that we need in this nation to be able to drive change and transformation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. And thanks. Will join us again. Please feel free. We can have her again on another subject, of course. But thank you for your time. You as a viewer and our listeners on Twitter, X Spaces, please have a very nice evening. We'll see you again.
Smart24 Drive